2018, y'all. Let's do this. So, I was watching the show Black Mirror. Has anyone out there seen this show? It's trippy as hell. It's like Twilight Zone, except they use like technology based videos, and it's trippy. Anyways, season 4 just came out. Oh, I should have brought a water. Suddenly I'm really thirsty. Anyway, season 4 just came out, and I'm like halfway through it. But the first episode was amazing, and the follow-up 3 sucked really bad compared to the hype that the first one gave me and everyone who I was with. So it's basically like, it starts off as an episode of Star Trek, and then it kind of reveals that this guy is playing this game and he's the captain, but it's all inside of this virtual reality game. And then he goes to work and he's actually the guy who invented the game. It's like a giant corporation. So eventually you go and you see that all the people that are all the crewmen in the show are the people he works with. And he kind of like talks down to them and like kisses all the women, and just like, he's like almost like a little bit bad. Spoiler alerts. If you haven't seen it, pause this and go watch it. But then he like becomes, slowly you realize that not only is he using this to treat everyone how he wants to treat them, which is bad, but he's actually used their DNA to make a perfect digital copy. And the show kind of twists to this new girl and follows her as she's inside of this game, but she doesn't realize it. Like, she's so shocked, like, how'd I get here? And then the rest of the show, she's trying to get out and trying to trick him, and he's like super evil, and like, because she doesn't man her posts or play along with his game, he like codes her face out so he doesn't have a mouth or nose, and he's like, I can just keep you suffocating like this indefinitely, so play along. So that's about them inside the game contacting the outside world and trying to get out. It's super trippy and super awesome. It's a great episode. And then also, have you guys seen Bright? I think that's some, I don't know what's more popular, Black Mirror or Bright. Black Mirror is the one with Will Smith where he's a modern day cop, but there's fantasy creatures all around. That one, it was a good movie. It annoyed me that there's a girl in the beginning and she's like an elf and she only speaks Elfish, whatever the elf language is. And that was super annoying because she couldn't tell him anything in the beginning, and then as soon as the plot like changed, she was like, oh, actually I can speak English. And they're like, what? And she's like, I just didn't trust you enough to speak English to you. It was like, I think that was just convenient plot creating. I mean, I love the rest of the movie. This is the only complaint I have, because earlier they're in the car and they have this wand, and if they get too far away from the wand's user, the wand has a spell on it where its magic makes it basically hit a wall. So it's inside their car, and their car's about to hit a wall. And she's like screaming at them, trying to tell them what's going to happen, but she's speaking in the Elvish language. So it's kind of like, oh, but you could speak English, and you're about to all die in a car crash, and yet you don't say a word. You just sit there and take it. I don't know, that bugged me, but the rest of the movie seemed pretty cool. Just orcs and stuff. I'm trying to think of what else I watched. Nothing new. I still haven't seen Thor Ragnarok. I want to see that. Watched 1,000 Ways to Die in 1,000 Ways to Die in the West for the second time, and it was just as good. And then I watched Ted 2 for the first time, and I think Seth MacFarlane is a genius. Funny mofo. Dang, I really want to see Thor. It's been too long. I've been putting it off too long. This has to happen. I also started this new job. I don't know if you can see my lip. It's gonna freeze off. I just feel it. I've been just dousing it in chapstick. But it's no match to this. 0 degrees. It's a gigantic building. I'm still reading that Chip Gaines book. I've been definitely neglecting reading, which is dumb on my part. Ooh, I know what movie I saw. Ghost in a Shell. And what I have to say about that movie is I didn't like it. What else didn't I like? Blade Runner 2045 or whatever. It might have to do with the fact that I've never seen the original. So the new one was just kind of like running around a whole lot of nothing, it seemed like. Whole lot of nothing. It was cool. I'm excited to see the adult half of it. I don't really watch any Christmas movies. Just Die Hard. So I guess I watched one Christmas movie. Die Hard. Yippee-ki-yay, mother. Alright. Go to bed.